that you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there. Welcome to the Flushing Bloke podcast. I'm Siobhan, and God rest ye merry gentlemen. Let's meet the Plucky Girl assistants. We've got, still with that strange, peculiar nasal whine of an accent, it's Brian.
It's called American, or in some places, American.
So degenerated English, righty-ho.
Yep.
Remember, I'm not English. I rule them. Then we have Dr. Sinister.
Hello.
Really? That's it? That's all you can sum up for this? Wow.
Yeah, I'm saving myself.
Okay.
He's pacing himself. It's Kill Bill.
What we're doing here, what we're going to do here is very quickly, as we introduce Brian, we are going to go, oh, wow, heavy. And if you can tell me what that relates to in the comments, that's great. Bit of a mystery. It's the same with the song lyrics. The lyrics I put at the front of the show, that's got some connection with tonight's show, but I'm not saying that. I'm just glad I didn't spoonerize it. We have, oh dear, temporary co-host Adam Purcell from Staggering Stories, who doesn't have,
Hello.
Oh my god.
Oh, you've heard, oh no.
Uh,
Oh, no.
Daniel, what is it? Daniel
very jealous.
Gonzali. Yeah. Character from last week's.
that is a proper artifact from the past.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Siobhan.
Yeah. Elderly, they took off the American patch on the other side. I think must have reused it for a different costume.
Right, hang on, guys. Hang on,
Ronald Reagan still.
stop. As mentioned beforehand, my internet's playing up. So, Adam, do you want to talk us through that again, please? I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Well, it's this is the Commander Griffin costume from Star Cops episode 4, is it?
Yep.
And it's the actual screen-worn cop thing.
The actual one. Yeah. Got the
Wow.
actual badge and everything. Yeah.
Wasn't he?
I'm very envious now.
Wasn't he very tiny?
Siobhan?
He's about my height, actually.
He was up covering
Pretty good
half the.
fit.
I'm sorry,
you.
please say that again, sorry.
Your start menu was up covering half the screen.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that was the reason.
Including
That
Adam
was about a
pulling off
minute ago.
Inaccurate Griffin costume.
Well, never
was
mind.
no. The reason I asked him to go through it again is because my internet was playing up, and that's what I was looking at. So we come back to this now, and he's talking us. I don't believe it.
Where did you get that from and how much was it?
It's the prop 5.
Wow.
Do you want to say that again? No.
One other.
Your size.
But,
So,
I don't have actual Star Cops uniform though, because they did have the
Why is it?
to have any alterations to have it fit?
no, the legs are about an inch too long because I've got quite short legs. The only problem. But I wouldn't want to make a permanent alteration to it because it's obviously
Well, yeah, quite
an
right.
artifact from TV. So.
Just to let people know that's the actual screen-worn thing.
Yeah, it's the actual one.
The reason I say this is because as soon as I asked Adam to repeat it again, the internet went off. Like it just has now. Like it. Oh, God almighty.
One of those nights.
Oh, it is. Oh, this is ridiculous. I've got to try and get hold of.
I've got to
try and get-
Okay.
I've got to try and get hold of Virgin Media because it's the same time every night for about 10 minutes. It just flicks on and off, on and off, on and off. It's too regular to be a.
Too much. Nope.
Too much what? Sorry.
Oh, you've frozen again.
Roughage.
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 Yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm very sorry about this, folks. I really am. I hope the stream's okay. I hope the stream's holding out.
Roughage is what Shakespeare wore around his neck.
It is. It is indeed. And Lord Percy, heir to the Duchy of Northumbria. I'm not going to be able to say any jokes at all, am I? Because this thing's going to cut off the punchlines.
Yeah.
Stop
And
it.
I'm going to take a drink.
Oh.
So if you want to see Brian die of alcohol poisoning,
This is your new drinking game, is it?
yep.
I've got to try and get hold of Virgin Media. The trouble is, getting hold of a human being in Virgin Media is difficult. To actually sit here and explain what's going on. I mean, I have to get hold of them anyway because I need a rebate because they charge me for a landline phone, but I don't have it. The line has never worked.
We
So,
pay for that.
yeah, so it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Anyway, that.
Oh, at 9:15.
Yeah, if it's every time at 9 o'clock without fail, yeah, we should probably start. You back? Nope.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, this
ridiculous.
is going to be a good night.
guys, seriously, if you, we'll discuss this. No, we won't.
Yeah.
We'll discuss this afterwards. I've no idea if you heard me.
So I discovered a new favorite drink of mine.
Oh yeah.
Root beer and rum chata.
Not a weak lemon drink.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to introduce Dominic yet.
No.
Let's introduce Dominic. We're sorry, Dominic.
Sorry, the internet decided. Fuck you. Basically,
We're not entirely anyway.
we have our own Dominic G. Martin. He's ours. We rent him out. That's it. It's, who is here in an official capacity? Well, not technically.
It's all frozen again.
Oh, God almighty. This has been going on for years. This
I think it's
is...
your neighbour.
Anyway, now Dominic has...
Perfect timing.
I need a refill.
Dominic, could you just punch Sinister? He's to your right on the screen. Dominic is here. Dominic, what role did you have in the Peladon box set?
I was a trainee producer, so that was my first producing gig.
Thank you.
And essentially that I got involved in. It was obviously a training gig for myself to be able to get used to the role. Cast members, and I organised a lot of the contracts, etc. So whilst it was in comparison to my current producing gigs, it was quite a minimal job. But it was very much a get your foot on the ladder sort of thing. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity because obviously I did it somewhat well, otherwise they wouldn't have kept me on. So it's
what's your next gig, or hasn't it been announced yet publicly?
been announced.
Okay,
Can't
fair enough. No, that's
Can
fair
I-
enough.
Can I ask a question, please, Dominic, sir?
Hello,
sure.
Ritter.
What? This isn't a snarky question. I genuinely want to know. What does being a producer actually involve? What do you do?
You saw me doing the whole of the bloody annual, and you still don't know?
I'd like to know.
Okay, I'll break it down. So, essentially being the producer, I'll explain what I'm doing in my current gig. So I have to organise a load of the contracts, have to do the studio days, get the studios booked and everything, get all the cast members, get them, obviously, message their agents and see if they're interested in that sort of role in particular, commission the scripts, and have words with the writers and everything, maybe provide notes as well, but that's usually the script editor's job. And what else do I do?
You
Then
did the interviews? You did the interviews?
yeah, I do the interviews as well. And then when it comes to actual, on recording days, that is my primary job, as well as just making sure everything goes well, because as well as that, you've got to organise everything with clean feed, because remote recording these days, you have to make sure you grab the email addresses. It's fairly chunky workload, but
May I ask you, what is clean feed? It sounds interesting.
Oh. So basically, because of the pandemic, Big Finish have moved on to doing remote recordings
Yeah.
for a lot of
Good on them.
So, Clean Feed is a big recording software that the remote engineer can set up, and it will basically make a big recording studio online. So everyone will be able to hear each other, and the remote engineer can record all the various the streams, basically, all their dialogue. But it's generally preferred if they record at home as well, just in case of internet delays. But
Does it suffer from internet outages at 9 p.m?
Fuck off.
yeah, you survived, Born.
I couldn't record from home anyway. I've got 4 cats and a dog, plus I've got no way of muffling things. I've got a good microphone, and then my computer howls. So, yeah, I couldn't record at home.
You might need a cupboard, don't you?
Oh yeah,
I
Cupboard and duvets
do
and-
sort of have one, but there isn't room, and there's no cable connections or anything else like that. It couldn't be done. Plus, if I go into a cupboard and shut the door, the dog's going to basically start scrabbling and yelping to be let in with me.
Oh no. Oh no.
No.
I get the
Shock
feeling
collar,
Katie
you
must
don't see
actually
your,
ask somebody to look after her dog while she's busy recording. Ah, dear. Right, so, yes, how's everybody's week's been? Let's start with Dominic, as we finished with him just then. He's used to doing talking.
Yeah, quite well. Just been getting on with various bits and pieces, working life and just surviving and all that. Generally, I'm alive, I guess.
P-cap jumper tonight?
Huh?
P-cap jumper tonight?
E-cap jumper pretty much every night because I'm cold.
Why don't you get one without holes?
Huh? The holes jumper? Yeah. I mean, I've got that one as well, but I don't want to wear that one at night just in case I accidentally pierce one of the holes.
Oh, hang on, I have cat problems now.
Oh
Will
no.
you two stop it? That's what the strange high-pitched shrieking was. It was me. Oh, dear God. Adam, how's your week been?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Tell me,
Quiet week.
Adam's from the Staggering Stories podcast. You can access at www.staggeringstories.net or .com. See, I do listen to you. Or your podcast provider of choice. I do very much recommend it. It's a bit like this. Actually, it's quite a bit like this, isn't it?
Edited.
Yeah, but edited. Yeah. We've decided sod standard, sod professionalism.
Yeah, I've been watching
Well, we
Meglos
set
for the
bar.
podcast.
It's pretty low, but it's there for people to rise above.
Yes, everybody can feel superior to us. We're doing the world a service.
And
That's-
then we crush them when it comes to the quiz of Rassilon. So that's how it's done.
Sorry, who crushes them?
Quiz of wrestling.
Oh, I'm definitely going with you on
Yeah,
this one.
I crush them.
Yeah.
Andrew, how's your week been?
I've been back in the office 3 days this week, which has been nice.
Wow.
Oh, good. I'm pleased. Going to try and persuade you to come up to the cafe next week.
Try.
You don't have to. It's a
I'll
long
try,
drive
but
home.
it depends. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's a 2-hour drive. Then I do a 10-hour day. Then it's a 2-hour drive to go home again.
Forget it. I'll come to you maybe next weekend. We'll sort something out. Old man Purcell, good week, bad week?
Who, me again?
Yeah, old man Purcell. That's you, love.
We did him already.
Yeah, we haven't already
Yeah,
been
we just
through
did
this.
Okay, Commander Griffin. Good day. Good week.
Oh, great. We,
How are things on the American Space Station?
yeah, we lost a few people. Had to jettison a module or two. You know, it's fine.
Is that a one-piece uniform or is it in two?
Yeah, one piece. He also had one with just a jacket
Yeah.
with separate trousers. But yeah,
I'm very jealous.
there's still a couple of bits up there, but they won't even fit me, let alone you.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
a bit better.
My Lego addiction makes me somewhat impecunious.
I've just made Retta jump out of her skin.
Okay.
Yep. It's all right, because the podcast had careered out of control. So
You're
I put
sending
up our
dirty photos
technical...
again.
No, I put up our technical problems thing. But unfortunately, I've forgotten that Sin puts the ooh on it. You know, before the little white dot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before a guardsman says, "Get a bit spotty."
Well, also, she got 18.5 inches of snow yesterday.
That's
Oh,
nothing.
wow. Okay.
We had 7 foot's worth of snow in Jersey back in
Really?
1978 or 79. I can't remember which. 78, I suspect.
Wow.
Okay, Boomer.
Oh,
I'm Generation X, and well, I would be proud of it, but I can't be asked.
I'm Generation X and proud of it.
I'm Gen X.
We're the best.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because we don't give craps.
We don't give a fuck, and we
We
can
were-
cope with anything.
Yeah, we got left on our own growing up. So
Yep, definitely.
yeah,
Yep. Played in the streets. Yeah.
just watch The Breakfast Club. You'll get it. That's the perfect Gen X film. That The Breakfast Club.
Ryan, how's your week been?
It's been
Fast.
good. A little slow. No, you haven't. You asked that twice.
I
Really?
Well, we didn't want to make that announcement now. But
I'm sorry.
I'm afraid I'm afraid to say it that the internet froze whatever you were saying.
that's fine. It's probably safe.
I implied that Brian and I were having sexual relations.
I thought that was well known. You didn't need any implication. It's,
Just saying.
I think
How's that
it's-
self-medication going?
I got a streamy nose, and I'm probably going to need to blow it at some stage. Anyway, news. Courtesy of Adam Purcell.
I got some news.
Oh yes, please. Let's have some news.
No, do Adam's news first.
Well, no,
Bad news?
because that's just stuff I've nicked off him at lunchtime.
Oh, I was going to reference the alleged 17 Doctor Who episodes that are being held to ransom in the Middle East.
Oh, not the
Yes.
Omni Rumor again.
Although this is a new branch of the Omni Rumor.
New one.
Yep.
God.
And,
Dr. Sinister.
and can I say it's breaking news from the Plymouth Herald?
Yeah, again.
Yes.
the Plymouth Herald, amazing.
Weren't they the ones with David Tennant?
Please tell the boys and girls and gentle beings. Give me some detail of this. This is
Allegedly, there are 17 episodes of classic Doctor Who missing episodes of classic Doctor Who from the Hartnell and Troughton era being held by the and or Nigeria and feel it's appropriate to discuss their return with the UK at this time due to no doubt strained relations.
Stitch, I love that. That's incredible.
Okay, right.
love-
Put quickly, because the internet fucked up again whilst he was talking about it. What time is it now? 21:17. It shouldn't be doing this. Retta, I'm so sorry, my love. We like 9 o'clock every evening for some reason, and it's not every evening. Sometimes I can go a bit without it, but my internet just switches on and off for about 20 minutes. Notice I've extended the time.
Half hour.
But I need to get hold of somebody from the IP, but they made it almost impossible to talk to a human being. Anyway, that was basically apparently a Middle Eastern or African country. Middle Eastern country, 17 episodes of Doctor Who, which they're holding to ransom.
Yes.
Political ransom.
If true, it
Yes.
takes down to what, 80, would it? Something like that.
Something like that,
96
yeah.
At the moment, I think. Yeah.
96, 79.
Yeah, Paco, fix it. Pico, Paco. Fix the internet.
Monitor. Come on. It's
Yeah.
going to take the faith of all of you.
Dominic,
Which
I
So
one
if
is
your
it?
faith is strong, this will fix Auntie's internet. Now repeat after me.
Uri Geller is a fraud.
Oh, wow. A goo Siam.
A good Siam.
Are you a git wizard?
Yeah.
A day to be
Yes,
dim-
yes, I'm an
Oh,
internet
no.
whisperer.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
No spiders, please. I was talking with Gruntley the Ogron about that.
Oh no, we need to do Mary's Little Lamb backwards, don't we, as well?
Oh, I've never tried doing that one.
That
I've
sounds
never
Welsh.
tried doing that one. That was Roger Delgado. That was, yeah. What the hell do I say? I don't want to say anything that actually is hellish. Mary's Little Lamb backwards. Fair enough. Right. So, news. Season 22 we've already talked about. And it's coming out. Which we are looking forward to. People have died. Sad. Barry Cryer has died.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of British comedy anytime since the 60s.
I met him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a do at Southampton Football Club. It was an insurance awards thingy, and he was there telling jokes, and he was ignored by 99% of the audience, which was very rude, but I thought he was very funny.
That's why people hate doing corporate gigs.
Yeah.
Shame. I remember him particularly from the Detectives. He did a great episode with the Detectives.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
Of course he must have done. But, but Brian, Barry Cryer was one of our comedy legends. He wasn't a huge performer per se. He was mostly a writer, though he did perform.
Okay.
But he wrote for the cream of British comedy over the years. I doubt there isn't one you can sort of say, who did he write? Who's that? No, you'd recognise it straight. Well, we'd recognise it straight away.
Yeah.
Very funny man. An amazing laugh. And I shall miss him. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't a clue. There is only Graham left.
Yeah.
Well, over here we've had another celebrity death as well.
Oh yeah.
Howard Hessman died. Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati. No one.
Of course.
Is he the one with the moustache or the one who organised the turkey hunt? Turkey drop.
He was the DJ that was asleep and stoned all the time.
Yeah, the one with the moustache. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a life aim, that is.
That is.
It is.
That really is. I just want to shout booger over the radio at one point in time in honor.
Feel free. Feel free. Pick your moment.
Oh, I will.
For maximum
will.
impact. Also, Joe Kendall's
John Levine.
Joe Kendall has died. Now, some of you might not know who Joe Kendall was. She was a comedian. Again, she was in the first series of I'm Sorry, I Haven't a Clue. And she ended up being the female voice in everything up to a point for comedy. Certainly radio comedy. I mean, she was in I'm Sorry, I'll Read It Again. She was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The radio series of that. So, yeah, we've lost a couple this week. I'm starting to wonder if we've got another 2016 on our hands.
God.
No, thank you.
However, it might just be rounding off the years of misery we've had. This might be the final thing, and suddenly everything flips back to normal.
This is when we find the spaceship that they've all been escaping to.
Yeah.
This is when we find our way out of E-space.
You realise that the world's gone off its tilt because of there's no Harold Bishop in Neighbours anymore.
Epidemic space. Is that what E-space is?
Good thing.
Everything started to go wrong when David Bowie died, actually.
It's true. It's true. Well, you suggested earlier
Started
that
going wrong
2012.
the minute they turned on the Large Hadron. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that?
Ooh. Yeah. When they said we would all get sucked into a black hole, they meant a black hole of despair.
Wait. No. It can't be that because My Chemical Romance has not put out a new album in years.
Perhaps they don't need to. Perhaps the
Maybe
world is doing it for them.
Perhaps we're living the My Chemical Romance album.
That will be the coup de grace.
Right. More news. There was more news. I'm sure there was news. I got nothing. Purcell, did you learn anything from your trawl through the news?
Load of Star Trek series have been picked up for next season, whatever that season number may be.
Good. And Picard Series 3 is the last series, apparently.
Being filmed back to back with 2.
I can understand that. Poor old Patrick's getting on. Let him put his feet up.
Yep.
They
Well,
lost
he's
a-
an android now. He doesn't have to.
No, indeed. What was that all about? But anyway,
Be interesting to see what Q says about it.
maybe he's going to turn it back into human. Let's hope so.
I'm interested to see how it all pans out. I mean, they've certainly an odd first series, so
Well, this one seems a lot more action-packed.
yeah, which is weird considering he's like an 80-year-old man. I mean, Picard's 90-odd, isn't he?
Something like that. I mean, they've always said because of Federation medical stuff, he can keep going for... I mean, how old was Bones supposed to be when he turned up in Farpoint?
Oh,
About
about
20.
something.
Yeah.
I could do those leg braces.
And Janeway
yeah.
was in the 90s.
I'm looking forward to Picard. Because Guinan's turning up in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she's got a silly hat on.
yeah.
They must have realised, well, you can't have Guinan without a silly hat.
No.
Gotta have the big hat.
Got to have it. I mean, that's how she served drinks.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she's not that tall, old Whippy. Walk around with a tray for a hat, and people can just pick them.
Do you think she carries a cushion with her?
Stop it. His name was Peter. Right, I don't think we got any more news.
Well, there is one piece of news.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly. Well, no, it might be a spoiler, actually. I won't say.
Oh, you can't do that now. Listen. If Adam, take your headset off. I'll wave to you when he's said it. And
If it's
then-
what I think, is it just about the filming location?
Yeah,
Of, yeah.
of
I-
a scene. Of a particular scene,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Allegedly.
I wouldn't call that news.
No, okay. Allegedly, the regeneration isn't happening on board the TARDIS this time round.
Which makes sense. I did wonder how they do it, given they've dismantled the set. I haven't filmed the other half yet.
Yeah.
It was outside. I mean, what's it? Matt Smith was outside.
No.
No?
Matt Smith, the change,
Right,
was only the big
Well, it
explosion.
was an irregular regeneration, that one. It was
No.
a bit weird.
I think the last one that was outside the TARDIS was McCoy. Oh no,
Could be
Hurt technically. McGann's Hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But I don't see a big thing about it. I know that's not news. Oh, and Retta's not impressed. She knew that, apparently.
I just wonder where they're going to film it that they can guarantee would look exactly the same 12 months later, or how long it would be.
It's an
And Forrest.
Nine
interrupter,
months
Retta.
later. The forest wouldn't work, because if you film it 9 months later, it's going to look completely different.
It's going to be
Ah.
the Temple of Peace in Cardiff.
Yeah, could be.
Ah, dear. Yeah, Retta's a little bit intrigued by what you're holding, Sinister.
That
It's like a light up you Rubik's Cube, is it not?
Yeah.
Bluetooth enabled. I still can't fucking do it, but you know.
What?
Why
How's
would it
that?
be Bluetooth enabled?
Why?
Act as speaker?
To help you solve it.
Oh, okay. It recommends how to twist it.
Talks to my phone.
Why?
So that I know I can restore it whenever I need to.
You should take it apart and put it back
That's
together.
exactly what we did in
Yeah.
the 80s. We just took it
Can't-
apart and cheated. And you could
Can't
always
do
tell
that
because
with
it
this
was a
one.
bit looser
It's-
than everybody else's.
Packed with electronics, this one.
And explosives, if you get it wrong.
Yes.
I don't know, Brian. Don't worry. You should just nod and smile. Nod and smile.
Maybe I am a boomer.
That means I
hang
get
on.
to cut your head off.
Are you completely selfish and did you vote for Brexit?
Eh? Don't worry. Once Russia attacks, everybody will just
It's not going to go hot like that. Fuck, I've just doomed the world.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a rumor that it's purely being done for internal reasons because he's actually on the verge of being toppled.
Oh.
Wait and see. One can hope.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Goodness.
Well, at the same time, with the resurgent China, I mean, if they had any sense, they have teamed up. They're getting on rather well at the moment. But what they do was one would invade Ukraine, the other would invade Taiwan at the same time. That would screw people up. The problem is there's the weather.
No, that would be quite easy to take care of, to be honest, because one would be a land war, one would be a naval war, and that's easily done.
I've been watching that bloke on that YouTube.
Oh, that bloke on YouTube.
Yeah. It does. What's it? DS or DCS or whatever it is, the wargaming thing.
Oh, him.
Yeah. Did you see the one where they had to fight off against 2 Star Destroyers, Millennium Falcon, X-Wings, TIE Fighters, and the Independence Day ship hanging over the city?
No. How did that go?
Oh, brilliantly! The trouble is, it's down to the
watching
programming.
100,000 zombies versus 25,000 stormtroopers.
Or, if you like, 10 stormtroopers versus 124,990 zombies.
It's still
They
me.
couldn't miss. Yeah.
They
They
would.
miss! Jesus! You've got the whole problem. The whole problem that fucks up people's mind, it fucks up computers. If a stormtrooper shoots at Sean Bean, what happens?
Oh, yeah.
They both die. The stormtrooper misses and Sean Bean dies anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah. Falls off a gantry.
Yeah, and then
No
has
rails.
a dish fall on top of him.
I was
Big
going to say,
gigantic.
the stormtrooper misses, the blaster bolt hits something and knocks it onto his head.
Same thing happens with a red shirt.
Red shirts are given a certain amount of time. And then they die. They must have been very worried when they started out on Next Gen. What do you mean Commander's red? Right then, shall we do what we came here for?
No.
Oh, all right then,
What
sod
do
you.
we come here for?
I don't know. Pain,
I thought we
suffering,
were here to
misery.
basketball of Dominic. I mean,
Dominic's time is coming. Dominic's
Is it?
time is coming, yes it is.
No.
Not quite yet, though. Here we go. And now from the worlds of BBC, oh, you know it, the rest. That was the wrong thing. Let's use that one instead. Attentive viewers may have noticed a couple of mistakes back then. I put them in just to see if you were paying attention. Did I get away with that?
Yeah, easy.
Okay, cheers. Yes, you've been going on about that, love. See, you say rum chata, I keep thinking you're saying rum chowder, so I'm expecting oysters or something in it.
Chowder.
I'll settle this right away.
Oh, hang on. We're going to find out what rum chata is. Which is great, as three of us don't. Three or four. I don't know if Dominic drinks. Three of us don't drink.
Is it an island off Jamaica?
Very possibly. So Brian's
that's
the only
sweet.
alcoholic amongst us.
I don't drink.
No, that's what I'm saying. Brian's the only one.
Huh.
Okay, so it's rum and
Aftershave.
Yeah.
so Makata
Conron.
Conron. What?
Is that
It's a creme liqueur.
All right. Okay. I'll try it when I come over.
Conron?
That's okay. You're never coming.
I'm never coming. I like it. We were talking about it this afternoon.
Unless you tried.
We were talking about it this afternoon. Anyway, Doctor Who. Well, he's not too happy. He's been given a little bit of, leeway, and unfortunately it's all backfired on him. And I was about to actually give you the plotline for Terror of the Voivoids, but I caught myself. Anyway, it's the Ultimate Foe. Last two parts of Trial of a Time Lord. Trying to explain it, there's an awful lot of bickering. The Master turns up. releases the fact that the Valeyard, the prosecuting counsel, is in fact a future incarnation of the Doctor where everything bad turns up.
No.
Between his 12th and final incarnation.
Which could be anywhere now.
Exactly.
Given now
What did they know back then? They go chasing into the Matrix, whereupon Robert Holmes plays a blinder.
It does.
Say again?
Fancy factory.
This would make a great series. The Doctor goes bad and the companions have to stop him.
Yeah, it would. It's what they were almost hinting at with the end of Tennant, and then they bottled it for.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I don't think the Doctor should.
They should revive.
Or
was
they
it
should be
Hartnell's
very good
idea? Was it Hartnell's idea to do Son of
The
Doctor
son of
Who?
Doctor Who, yes. Which, ironically, looked exactly just like him.
Yeah.
He must have had a child of some description at some point if he's a grandfather.
He must have done, quite so. Yes. Child of a Time Lord. Now, I'll tell you what, we'll come to the behind-the-scenes shenanigans afterwards to put some
Of which
context.
there are many.
Yeah, to put some context on the bones of this. It's written by 3 people. Episode 13 is written by Robert Holmes, which it was his last script for the programme. And he hadn't lost it by then.
No.
That Ultimate Foe's brilliant. And then, for reasons we'll go into, episode 14 was written by Pip and Jane Baker.
Jip and Payne. Megabyte modem.
Oh God.
Dominic, do you
There's
remember the
nothing you
Ultimate
can
Foe?
do to prevent the catharsis of spurious morality.
There isn't. It's true, there isn't.
Dominic, do you remember the Ultimate Foe?
Vaguely, yes.
That's probably the best way, actually.
To be fair.
Yeah, I have that vivid memory of like that where Colin Baker's like in the sand pit thing and sinking in.
Oh, yeah, Camber Sands, yeah.
Yeah, and that's stuck with me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It features the return of Glitz, but not quite the Glitz we know.
Certainly Dibber's
He's
a bit
more of
shorter.
Dibber lad, what's happened to your voice? Yeah, he becomes the comedy cuddly character. The cuddly
Yeah.
rogue in this. Whereas in Mysterious Plant, not necessarily.
He was a bit murderous in that.
He was a bit murderous. A deep-rooted sociolog... No, I'm not going to go there. Okay, so let's go to the Brian.
Okay.
Come on, then. Impress Auntie. You can have
I
a vote.
like seeing the Doctor square off against the Doctor. My one problem with this was the Valeyard was not written quite as brilliant as the Doctor. I mean, I get
can
it.
see
Not
where
all,
you're coming from.
not all regenerations are equal and stuff, but the Doctor's usually written with an air of genius to him.
It's always... Well, they are always the cleverest person in the room.
Yeah. So what happened to the Valeyard?
I think it's proof that if you're a bad person, you're not as clever.
I would say the Valeyard lost the nuance of the Doctor because he is all of the bad bits in a lump.
There is that. There's also the whole maybe he's not as good as being bad as someone, say, the Master, who can outmaneuver him.
It does make you wonder how long those two have been rivals for, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole line about... It implies that the Master knows the Valeyard of old,
Yes.
which is, up till now, they've always met in sync.
Yes.
Well, where do you
They have.
place the Valeyard now? That's the problem.
Anyway, yeah.
That's why I've given up with numbering. So
Yeah,
give up
yeah.
with numbering now.
That the Valeyard has something to do with division.
Why not?
Hell,
Everything
you
is
could
now.
be right.
At this point, who the hell knows?
Oh my god.
Maybe they took the memories from the watch, created
Yeah.
the body, put the memories into the body. Clone them
Genius!
all.
Genius! That is how it happened.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll write a fan fiction right now.
Righty-ho, go off. Off you go.
Off. Go.
You
I
got
know you
Brian
have
here,
work.
so make sure it's Slashwick.
And from across the room, they look at each other,
Oh god.
Yeah.
and suddenly,
Melanie Inquisitor, maybe?
No. She can wangle that pen. Righty-ho. Did you enjoy it?
yeah, I love this one.
One of my favourite characters in this is Mr. Popplewick.
He's great, yeah.
Yeah,
The junior Mr. Popplewick or the senior Mr.
Ooh.
Popplewick?
Tough call, that one.
That's a very difficult one.
One of them likes procedure.
Hmm.
What's
But
the
he's
Holy
not allowed
Richard
to-
procedure?
He's not allowed to expect anyone.
He did love to have a go at things in the old Robert Holmes.
Oh, he
Bureaucracy.
did. He
Here's
did.
bureaucracy, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, probably a bit of the BBC taking the flak on this one, isn't it? There's another aspect of the BBC he probably got fed up with.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised. You've got to remember, by this time, Holmes wasn't very well.
No, well,
We'll get there. We
at
will
death's
get
door.
there.
Yeah.
Adam, thoughts? Thank you. And
I really enjoy it, and for a long time, I'd said that the Valiant was my favourite Doctor, and there's some truth to that. The way that Michael Jason portrays him is brilliant. He gets a lot of duff lines, particularly in the second part, but
yes.
he carries it off so well. He's absolutely brilliant. I think he's a good foil for Colin.
I take it you've heard the box set The Last Adventure.
I have, yeah, a while ago now, but
Yet another explanation for the Sixth Doctor regenerating. How
Yeah.
many do we need?
6.
yeah, sounds about right.
Ah,
And
dear.
I love the whole gothic look of the whole thing, and the fancy factory.
We actually had nighttime filming.
Yep. Had
Oh,
a
sorry,
proper location at that.
Yeah.
Not just in the studio.
Blist Hill? No. Blist Hill
No.
was Mark of the Rani.
Yeah. This is something
Stafford
Potteries.
Potteries.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. I tried to go a few years back, but they were closed on that particular day of the week. Irritatingly.
Well, all of Stafford was shut.
No, just the
We
Potteries.
had that with Brest in France. Our teachers took us to Brest saying, "You're going to like this place," only to find out it was Bastille Day and everywhere was shut. He wasn't very happy. I did my Marvin impression of "Oh, how boring," and I got an earful. Sorry, memory.
Rest.
Loose memory
Okay.
there. I'm trying to think of questions to ask you. What do we make of the ultimate fate of Purple Gilliam Brown, which we now have to read as canon?
Yeah, I suppose so. If you want to include the special features.
I will quote the Inquisitor. This pleases me.
Left abandoned on a pink-skied place with lots of lizards and reptiles, and somehow she and Ikanos survived, and we don't know how they got out of that situation. That's just it. It's but again, the trailer for the season 22 box sets, it's brilliant. Frankly, Pete McTighe knows exactly what he's doing, and Nicola Bryant certainly knows Perry. Goodness me.
Yeah.
That was, it was wonderful to see. I'm loving all these things. That's what made me think last week that, wouldn't the 60th anniversary be interesting if they just had a 5 companions thing or something like that? Get a few of the classic companions back, a few of the new series companions back, without the Doctor. Trying to sort something out.
That'd be enough for a draw for an audience, so I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you can announce the new Doctor at the end of it.
I mean, it would be good to have. I think
Essentially,
it would be great to have the old companions back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they would definitely need at least one or two Doctors to, pull in the audience.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, if it's going to be for the 60th, that's when we're due to see the whichever Doctor it is appear.
Possibly,
Like I
unless
say, you
they
could have a
sidestep
story.
I mean, I feel
Leading
like
up
it's
to that.
inevitable. I feel like it's inevitable we're going to see David Tennant again in some capacity.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment, young man. I don't know. I mean, I am more than happy to see old Doctors return. You know I am. On the telly. The amount of crossovers we've been getting, especially with the comic books.
Yeah, I think they've not done.
We used to do it once every 10 years. What happened?
Yeah. Poor Jodie Whittaker's not really had much of a run on her own. She's always had David Tennant's Doctor along.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't David an awful lot? I don't know why they're doing this, apart from the fact that they have little faith in her. I don't know.
It seems
I
that
don't
way,
know
which is a
about
real
that.
shame.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's,
It's fair, really.
No.
no, I generally don't feel that she's been given a fair crack of the whip.
Same for the game as well. Edge of Time, they repackaged that, put it on consoles as with David Tennant.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he's everywhere at the moment. Let's be honest. He's doing everything.
Yeah.
It's as if he's never left Doctor Who.
He's doing more Doctor than he ever did, yeah.
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 Too sexy.
And there's a new board game coming out, which, what is it? Don't Blink or something like that. It's based on We the Angels. And it's Matt Smith's Doctor. With Amy, Rory, and Clara, I think.
To be honest, you don't really get that much Matt Smith merchandise in comparison.
No.
Well,
Well
Tennant
due
was the
that
new
they-
series Tom
it's a big
Baker,
fish.
wasn't he? When it came
Mm.
to popularity.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Lieutenant?
Tennant, yeah.
In this country, but Matt Smith is more so in the US, I think.
I wouldn't know. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Matt
I
Smith
know
is
when
it
Matt
really hit the
took
big time.
over, that's when they really made the push for America.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt's still very popular in America, I'd say.
Understandably so. I thought
Yeah,
he was superb.
yeah.
I thought he was very good indeed. Right. Tell you what, let's go back to what we were talking about. Dr. Sinister, talk to me about Terror of the Vervoids.
What?
No, don't do that.
That was last week.
I should point out that's the second mistake I've made on this. First was I was going to talk about the
So,
Terror of the Vervoids.
Ultimate
The Ultimate Foe, Sin.
okay, so it is a game of two halves, this story.
Very much.
I remember, I think I had a friend around watching this as it went out live, and the when the Master casually dropped that line about the Valiant being the Doctor, we looked at each other as if to say, did he just say what we thought he just said? And it was so casual. It was just kind of, it was part of another exposition dump, and it was just kind of, oh yeah, he's the Doctor, didn't you know? And
There's
it
no
was
lead up. Yeah.
it was like, wow. And yeah, that opens up a whole can of worms, obviously. I mean, Michael Jaston has played this throughout as being highly vindictive of the Doctor, and now we know why.
Yeah.
I thought the Master didn't feel shoehorned into it at all. He's been sitting there quietly watching the whole thing, and now he's decided to play his hand
And enjoying himself immensely.
and enjoying himself immensely. And I like it. I do like it when the Valiard is kind of unleashed. He doesn't have to pretend anymore. He can now
Skull cap is off.
exactly the skull cap is off. Essentially, it resolves the plot of Mysterious Planet. We know now what the Doctor stumbled into, why he's been taken out of time in Mind Warp, and it all kind of comes together. It's fairly satisfying in that regard. However, of course, then we have part 2. Now, there are some good bits in part 2. I do actually really like the scene on the beach where the Valiard's flipping around.
Yes, so do I.
And
Yep.
you know, with the scene when he appears off in the dune and he gradually comes closer and he's talking to the Doctor about how he needs to rid himself of the Doctor because he needs to become a complete corporeal being, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Of course, it does get a little bit silly later on when we discover that he's got a bomb in the Matrix, which apparently can send out electronic waffles around and
That's
stuff.
not a bomb, that's a megabyte modem.
Well,
I mean, we go back and listen to that now.
Megabyte
Go,
modem.
what?
They obviously just had a book of technical terms and just picked.
I didn't know what that was at the time.
But they picked out 2 words at random. Go on, Brian. Go on.
No, Brian's being a
I knew what
smart
it
ass.
was.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
think I knew too. I think I even had a modem by that point. I had used one.
Yeah.
I had I had a 300 baud modem by then.
And
1200, I think, my list.
and does anyone understand the line, "No one can prevent the catharsis of spurious morality"? What does that mean?
How do you even come up with a line like that, and let alone leave it?
What's
I've
it mean?
read a different definition of it.
Oh, really?
Go on.
I can't remember it.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Whose
It was a
morality
long
was
time
talking
ago.
about?
And
I
I've been
think
attacked by some Scarosines today.
I think I've read an explanation of that line as well, and it doesn't make any sense.
No.
And then, of course, right at the end, I
Sensitive,
like the
but-
Valiard's black gloves, by the way. I love those black gloves; they're amazing.
That's
Anyway,
nice. Okay.
anyway, and at the end, of course, the Valiard is seemingly defeated, or is he? And then it's all tied up in a neat bow. The Inquisitor says, "Oh, would you like to be president again?" And the Doctor says, "Oh, fuck that for a laugh," and goes off with Johnny Langford, who he hasn't fucking met yet.
Yeah.
Well, they address that in the book.
They do.
In the book, the
Taken
TARDIS
aback.
materializes next to the TARDIS, and she
Yeah.
goes from one TARDIS to the other.
Anyway, yeah. I also, I think was it called Black Light, the tape of Dominic Lynn's music?
Yes, it was.
I absolutely love the Fantasy Factory sort of fanfare. I love that. I used to listen to that over and over. I don't know where my tape is. I haven't heard it for probably about 30 years or so, but I need to get a copy of that again because I
I'll
love.
send you the copy. I've got it here somewhere from the Doctor Who 50th collection.
I do. When I was watching this again yesterday, the music was like, yeah, I remember this. I really dig the incidental music. It was really cool. Can I just point out though,
Yes,
the Master in Part 2.
Yes.
1 minute he's abandoning Glitz, the next minute he's back to pick him up. He's a bit inconsistent in what he wants to do in Part 2, and I think it's probably time we talked about why.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more thing to question.
Yeah.
on.
Can you just glance upon how they rated Avon's wardrobe for the Valiant? Were these two men the same size or thereabouts? Because
Maybe.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
I actually, Michael Jason's performance in this is fantastic, utterly fantastic. Even though the material in Part 2 is a bit shit, he does the best with it. He is amazing.
Yep.
Okay,
Completely.
that's not the folder.
What are
Sorry,
you
Andrew.
looking
I'm trying to find you.
It doesn't have to be now.
I've just
she's found the
realised.
good folder.
No, I
Anyway.
haven't. I've just seen how much space I don't have.
In which case, I will launch into the reasons as to why this has been written by 3 different people.
Okay,
Well,
go
maybe
ahead.
2.5.
It'll be nice that somebody else does rather than me. Go on.
So, if I remember rightly, and there was essentially a massive disagreement behind the scenes between Eric Sayward, the script editor, and JNT,
It had been building for a while, hadn't it?
which had been building for a while. And I think at one point they were proposing to end the series on a cliffhanger, weren't they? With the
I
Doctor,
was going to talk about the alternate version.
the Doctor and the Valiard tumbling off into the Matrix, But I think it was seen possibly as a potential excuse to kill the program once and for all. So JNT didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I remember rightly, Sayward quit rather dramatically. Gave an interview to Starburst in which he was fucking slagging the hell out
Him
of
and Ian Levine.
and Ian Levine. Anyway, for and maybe Siobhan can fill in the details because it's a long time. I was living through this at the time, and it was.
But
it
we
was
didn't
dramatic.
know about it at the time.
But what happened was Robert Holmes. They were unable to use his material for Part 2, and had to get an emergency draft in from Pip and Jane Baker, who apparently were not allowed to know any details of Part 2 in case there were accusations of plagiarism or copyright or anything. I believe they wrote it overnight, and then they just had to go with it. I think that's broadly speaking what happened. But Siobhan might have some more info.
Yeah, it wasn't Robert Holmes' script.
Okay.
Eric Sayward
yeah.
wrote
Okay.
the final episode,
right, yeah.
where basically there's a whole circular motif running throughout the episode, They're chasing after each other and they're chasing each other's tails and that sort of thing. And the further they go round, the further into the trap they are. And then the Valiard, they find out the Valiard's going to open a time vent and destroy Gallifrey. And ends up with the Doctor pushing the Valiard into the time vent along with himself.
Mm-hmm.
End on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to imp it.
Well, I think that was probably the right thing to do, actually, given the precarious nature of the program at the time.
So what happens is that Pip and Jane get a phone call from Matey Boy, JNT. Say, can you come here? And they walk in, and there's JNT sat with a lawyer. And they basically say, here's the script for episode 13.
Yeah.
We need you to write episode 14, but we must not pay any attention to the existing one.
No, you can't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's bad.
It's a very bad situation. Yeah.
So, considering what we did get, it could have been a lot worse. But,
I mean, it kind of works.
yeah, kind of. I would have loved to have seen what Robert Holmes would have actually done with it.
Yeah. So would I, but alas, that was not to be. The thing is, Holmes, Saward had, apart from all the trouble he was having with JNT, I mean, I don't think they were talking to each other at one point. God, you can never imagine Barry and Terence like that, could you?
No.
The, I forgot what I was going to say.
They were having problems with JNT.
Oh, yeah, he was also very fond of Robert Holmes. He saw him as a mentor. And Robert Holmes died. And Saward was broke. And then he had all this shit from JNT. And so he quit very noisily. Like you say, did an interview with Ian Levine.
Is that the one we slagged off Colin?
Very probably, yeah.
I know
Yeah,
they...
very probably. I don't think Colin's ever forgiven him.
Major falling out, yeah.
That's, and I don't blame him, quite frankly. It's like I've said, if ever there's a problem with Doctor Who, for some reason, it's always poor old Colin who's there.
Yeah.
Years afterwards, it'll still be poor old Colin. It's not fair. It really isn't fair.
And of course, people presumably know, but this is Colin's final episode.
Performance.
Yeah.
Until
Not
Dimensions in Time, and that was
Still
good,
getting
wasn't it?
Dimensions in Time, or the stage play, or a big finish. Or, obviously, he's gone on to the Doctor a lot, but
Exactly, and over the years, his Doctor's become something truly special.
well, very quickly.
I wish to
Epic
God,
finish.
I genuinely wish to God they'd started him out a little bit of regeneration angst, and then that was it. Let's have the Doctor back properly, without this nasty idiot. And also the bloody costume.
Well, you can
can't
blame
take-
JNT for a lot out. The costume of JNT.
Yeah?
The fact that we got one story of a mad, demented Doctor
Yeah.
is JNT's fault.
Yeah.
He was off to a losing.
Poor old he just didn't stand a chance.
He didn't. He didn't.
No, he was screwed over in almost every single aspect.
I mean, Attack of the Cybermen was a shambles.
Quite like it. I quite like it.
Yeah,
But,
the script's a shambles, and it's a
It's
continuity mess.
From the very first story, like, the strangulation of Perry is what coloured him in the audience members, I personally think.
Yeah.
And they broke through his series. And then that
Yeah,
was
a whole year.
Yeah.
You had a whole year to think about that
Mm.
before he came back again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this-
Yeah,
6
no,
months.
and the costume, that awful. The thing is, I want that costume now, and I would wear it around town. I'm old enough now not to give a damn. But the
I mean,
costume really does put me off.
I do personally like the costume, but I can admit it is not going to be for everybody.
No.
It
I
really.
mean, if that wasn't a statement of the 80s, I don't know what was.
No, wasn't it Colin who said he wanted something more akin to Eccleston's outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted.
Looks like
He
darker.
initially said he really wanted a black suit,
Yeah.
and then when he saw Eccleston's, he said, "Oh, I wanted that."
Also, nothing to do with anything that anyone can help, but the difference in how he appears, not just in his weight, his face, he looks totally different in series 23 versus 22. He looks completely.
He looks very cat-like, and his hair's grown. So in that
Yeah.
respect, I feel he grew into the role. No
He
pun
looked
intended.
He looked very soft.
You know, he was heading towards a floof at one point.
Mm.
And then you had the Colin Baker diet in the sun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then, of course, when they announced Bonnie Langford, they had them up on Kirby wires, didn't they?
Yeah. For
And
Peter Pan.
Colin did not look at all comfortable, and his costume didn't like it either.
Yeah.
Ooh, Kirby wires. No.
Yeah,
that's
it's a
not gonna happen.
bit unfair for them to call out his weight issues by having him touching carrot juice on screen and stuff
Oh,
like that.
that was harsh. in
Yeah.
retro-
Yeah.
Undermine your lead character, your lead actor, why not?
Well, as we've come to the end of Colin,
Yeah.
what do we
sadly.
think of his run? Short.
I liked it at the time.
So
I
did
don't,
I.
dis- I don't dislike it now.
Me
I
too, yeah.
preferred season 22 to season 23, I will admit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Looking at
loved
it,
The Ultimate
it
Foe.
looks a lot like they were trying to sabotage it.
Well, of course they were. They put a program on hiatus and don't bother changing anything about it.
Yeah.
Then when it comes back, they sack the actual lead actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
Rather
was
than
never
change the producer. They were trying to get rid of it. There's no two
Yeah.
ways about it.
Colin was never the problem.
JNT was the only one who cared about it, and he kept saying, "I'll do one more series for you, but I've got to leave," and they would
I've been
never let him leave.
Hey.
Well, I think he wasn't he worried that if he did leave, they'd just say, "Oh, it's time to jack it in." Then he
That's
was,
what they told him. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So-
Doctor will finish if you leave. What a horrible thing to do.
That is, yeah, awful, awful.
Yeah. It's one of my favourite eras. It's the era I most grew up with.
Honestly, yeah, is definitely one that resonated a lot with me because I really like season 22, and I don't dislike season 23. It's not just up to the same standard as season 22, but Colin still became one of my faves personally. I think he's an absolutely fantastic Doctor when the material hit quite right, and that's how he's excelled in Big Finish because of the being able to soften his Doctor and play him how he really should have been allowed to on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't like Colin's Doctor from the TV show, but after going through all the Big Finishes, I like him now.
And he's a
And-
great guy in real life too.
He's very nice, and it was. I got to say, they tried to do that arc again with Capaldi, and that was a risk, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
That's
still
why
don't
they
think it was a good idea.
I
Oh!
really don't know why they tried it because it still damaged the show again.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It started off. The audience again. Capaldi's one of my favorite Doctors, but it wasn't a Rise's decision to do that arc again. Even if they were thinking, okay, time has passed, maybe we can do it right. Again, the audience just aren't going to like the idea of a Doctor who's a bit of a dick at the
Well,
beginning.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
You're right. It's trying to do it right, but also I think they knew they had the time. They definitely had the time to be able to do it
Mm.
this time. They knew that they were guaranteed another 2 or 3 series or whatever it was. So, but yeah, I agree 100%. Bad idea. Don't go down that route again.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't think it's any coincidence that the amount of publicity went down that period, particularly the amount of merchandise dropped off when you got into Capaldi.
Yeah, it did drop like a stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As did the ratings.
Yeah, but to be
Yeah.
fair,
Overnight's
ratings were
quite hard.
already starting to slip
Yeah, with
Oh,
maths.
It's a nice
around
high
because
player.
Sky had come along by then. I think, hadn't it? Yes, Sky had come along by then. Even if it
Oh,
was
yeah.
just, Rediffusion cable or whatever. Oh, for heaven's sakes, where
We had
is this?
Sky around that point. But
They eventually got rid of Doctor Who, and it had like 6 million in ratings. They said that was low. Christ, they'd kill for that these days.
they were, yeah.
Yeah.
That gets you in the top 10 these days.
Yeah.
Back then, wasn't it struggling? It's generally in the top 100, but not always.
Oh, actually, in talking about top numbers, there was another bit of news: the Doctor Who being voted number 2.
Yes,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was quite amazed by that, if I'm honest with you.
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I was surprised.
So
Uh,
wait, what was number 1?
It was Only Fools and Horses, a
Fools and
very popular comedy over here.
Yeah.
It was interesting. There's an awful lot of... there we go. That's what I'm after. Let's see if I can do this. Hang on. We're trying a thing. There's an awful lot of... there we go. There's an awful lot... where is it? That hasn't worked. There was an awful lot of something or other.
Ooh.
That hasn't worked either. We're going to do it this way. Sod it. Forgive me, I'm trying to do this thing for Sinister, and I'm having issues. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to say, by the way, in case you were wondering. In fact, I've forgotten what the intro to that was. Come here, come here, come here, come here! Where are you? God damn you!
I'm here.
Drive E. There we go. Who music? Black light. CD1.
Bit of Dominic Glynn, is it?
Oh, I don't know. No, that's wrong. Shit. Remove attachment.
Why don't you do it after the show?
Yeah, I know. It's really bugging me.
only
My
I
brain
can
goes
do it.
everywhere.
I'm the only one allowed to multitask on here.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, I'm afraid. Like I say, my brain goes off in 50 different directions and can't concentrate on any of them. I found the track. It's just a case of getting it to you.
Thanks.
Geek. Oddly enough, it's from the CD version, the Blacklight.
I only had the tape.
Same here. Same here. Anyway, carrot juice, carrot juice, carrot juice. It was a dark and stormy night on Mount Magresha. Let's be honest here. It is always a dark and stormy night on Mount Magresha.
Has it ever been daytime on Peladon?
We'll have to ask Dominic.
I wouldn't know. You can't exactly see, can you?
This lot couldn't be asked. I listened to Peladon, the new box set from Big Finish, in which our wonderful Dominic, was, I was going to say an associate producer, assistant producer? What would you call it? Trainee producer. So I've asked him on tonight, not to embarrass him, but there are a few... I was thinking there may be some questions about it I might need answered, so here's Dom.
Hi.
So there's 4 stories to this. I can't remember what they're each called, but they are set in different time periods to each other, with the story of Peladon moving on. It helps, I think, that you listen to Bride of Peladon from Big Finish.
Okay.
I'll explain why afterwards. Just remind me, please. So the first story is King Peladon, David Troughton. Getting on a bit now, but still got that slight innocence to him. He's prepared to listen to people and whatever. And there's there's a rabble-rouser, a holy man going around.
Oh, really? That's never happened on Peladon before.
Yeah. There are Ice Warriors. And I've got to admit, especially this particular Ice Warrior, I think he's brilliant. He's a wonderful extension of Islia from Curse of Peladon. He's the Ice Warriors he's almost a New Adventures Ice Warrior. He is chilled. He's enjoying himself. He's getting on a bit. He's been through the wars, but he's old enough now not to have to worry too much about it. So he actually enjoys the adventure. Shamefully. Anyway, and so Peladon gets tricked, and I can't say anymore. However, the one thing I can do is the Holy Man got his powers from a lake, which for some reason the water is a bit reddish. Why is this, we wonder? Story 2. It's set towards the end of Thalira's rule, after a monster of Peladon. Now, Thalira has a granddaughter, who's not very well. Indeed, a lot of the peasants aren't too well. And River Song has turned up. She's turned up basically because she knows Peladon is the Doctor's second favourite planet. And she thought she might turn up, see if she can push things in the right direction. Can she or can't she? You'll have to listen to it to find out. But she gets on incredibly well with Alpha Centauri.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to admit, the actress who plays Alpha nowadays is absolutely superb. Almost note perfect. Just needs an extra little sliver of screechiness when Alpha's going completely potty. Aside from that, it's wonderful. And I've got to admit, Alpha in this is a hell of a lot more motivated than he is on television. Sorry, they are on television. It's, again, Big Finish have worked their thing. Then you've got the third story. Somebody very loud, and not just in his sartorial taste, turns up on the tunnels underneath Peladon, mining tunnels, and they find a bomb and a dead body. Because, you do. And the question is, the bomb goes off, they get separated. It's the Sixth Doctor and Melanie, by the way. And then it's a case of the Doctor finds the peasants, Melanie finds the royals. And eventually they do meet up. And there is the only running theme I can... Well, aside from the environmental stuff, which is pushed quite hard, and face facts, Peladon is a place to push policies. That was a sentence. Peladon is a place to pitch policies. Wow. I'll never be able to say that again. And there is a running theme about who the bad guys are throughout. I'll say it now, it's not the Ice Warriors. We've got to the point where the Ice Warriors are the good guys. Right. And again, people are suffering and dying of mysterious illnesses. And the Doctor sort of works it out and this, that, and the other. But it's a case of, will people actually do anything about it? And so we go to the last story, featuring the Eighth Doctor, in which he inveigiles himself in with the last great seamstress of Peladon, who's been commissioned by the Chancellor to make the royal cloak for the coronation. This is a huge, huge thing. And the Eighth Doctor basically, over 3 nights, shows her what's wrong with Peladon. It's Mira Cyrell who plays... I can't remember that character's name. I only did it last night. Jesus.
Jeff.
But it is what... For a choice of Doctor, they got it spot on. This is... I could possibly imagine McCoy doing this. I'm not so sure about the others. Patiently just nibbling away at somebody's thoughts and views and slowly teaching them. It's a very McGann thing. It really felt like that. Peladon itself as a box set is brilliant. The theme tune is perfect. The theme tune is Clochlida Path and Men in Clatch.
Aroon.
But it's an orchestral version because it's a theme tune. Except for the very end, where they don't have the theme tune per se. They've got Paul McGann singing an old Venusian lullaby, but properly done with the orchestra and everything. And it's wonderful. It really is wonderful. If anything sums up Peladon, it's that. You know? If anybody's interested, it's either an old Venusian lullaby Close your pretty eyes, my darling. Well, 3 of them at least. Or, according to Benny Summerfield, it is something very bawdy indeed, and the Doctor's been lying throughout. I quite like that one. Because anyone's going to call the Doctor, it's going to be Benny. Ah, dear. So the question I've got for young Dominic.
Hello.
Talk me through the timeline of Succession, please, where Peladon's concerned. We had Peladon, we had Thalira.
Oh, and then it's
Then
Grand.
there's, is it Thalira's daughter? Because she says she isn't really at the House of Peladon as such. Now,
No.
Erimem turns up. Not in Peladon, but in a previous story, The Bride of Peladon. And I haven't heard that, and I suspect Big Finish are keeping to that continuity. But I now need to go and listen to The Bride of Peladon.
I would assume so. I mean, I have to be honest, they were recorded 7 months ago, and they were out of order as well. So I haven't been able to have a chance
That's
to listen.
fair enough. Well, I hope you do get a chance, because I think you'll enjoy it and you'll be proud.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I know there are a lot of little details and such that will only really be easy to decipher when I've actually heard the thing properly as the powers that be intended it, instead of out of order and with no sound effects.
No, people are still complaining about the last story from Stranded 3, by the way. The one they told backwards.
Really?
People aren't getting it. They're just not getting it. Mind you, I think it wasn't black and white. It was flip-flop, which you could listen to either episode, listen to it in either order, and it would make sense because it was a circular story. Unfortunately, when I started to listen to it, I didn't realise I had the shuffle function on.
Yeah, that would affect it a bit.
So, Peladon, the box set, what do we make of it? It's very good, very atmospheric. Howard Carter's sound design and music is superb. I like the environmental background to this. Basically saying what we're doing for digging diamonds and digging gold and digging lithium and this, that, and the other. We're raping the planet and not giving a damn about the environment because of it.
Does it sound very cavey?
In the caves, yes.
Good.
Unfortunately, you can't hear the sound of badger wigs.
Oh.
Slight problem there. And the only other slight niggle I've got, and this is me, nobody else really needs to worry about this. I've always assumed Peladon was lots of old white men shouting at each other.
Right.
Hepesh and Ortron, and in here everybody's a bit young and they're talking a bit too modern. Rather than, it was very theatrical. Peladon was a very theatrical production, either of them. You basically had a fantasy prince or princess, with guards and everything else like that. And they've normalised it more in this. But that's me. That's just my own preference. It's not a proper complaint at all. Peladon is great. 4 stories for the price of 4 stories?
I have 2 questions.
Please, yes.
Is there any Agador?
There's Agador.
All hail Agador.
Oh, hail Agador. Hug bees.
And I asked this before the show, but you said save it.
Yes.
In the Doctor Who book Legacy, Peladon leaves the Federation. How does this tie in with all that?
Well, Peladon does start to retreat in on itself towards the end, simply because the nobles and the Federation have done nothing for the working people. The old complaint from Monster of Peladon. And it's made very, very clear. As for Legacy, well, I was listening to the behind-the-scenes thing that was put together beautifully. So you try and be nice to him.
Smile, Dominic.
Come on, stop being coy. But apparently they put together a Peladon document that took as its source material not just the 2 TV series and the Peladon plays, but also, I think, Legacy and a couple of other bits and pieces. However, it doesn't stick to Legacy's timeline. Unless Thalira didn't last that long and they've had a couple of things since then, and 50 years after Monster of Peladon comes this. I don't know. But Legacy was a very good book. Had Bill Cook and Gene Riddler shagging. No, Gene finding Bill shagging Ace. I was very impressed. This is back in the day. New adventures, basically. If you wrote a new adventure, you tried to include as many of your mates as you could.
Stories too big and too broad for the small screen.
Yes. Damn straight. Yeah. Go buy Peladon. I recommend it. Very much so. And not just because Dominic's here. I would recommend it anyway. You know that. You know I tell the truth. Dominic, what's next week's release? Do you know? It would help me.
When you know, oh no, I can't remember offhand. I can check for you though.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd be grateful. Whilst you do that, we're going to ask you obviously some questions. So, did anything funny happen during the making of this story? Any eye patches or trousers falling down when Vickers turn in?
God's sake!
I turned around, and they were all dressed as Agador.
They were all dressed as Agador. Bloody hell.
All on the webcams. Everyone was dressed in Agador costumes. It was an absolutely glorious sight. I wish you could have been there.
I have to admit, I quite like the idea. If I'd have been producing this, I would have done it. Just for the people who weren't Doctor Who fans, I'd have said, right, wear these badger wigs. The people who were Doctor Who fans when they went online would piss themselves, hopefully. But there's a certain amount of professionalism you do have to include.
Why we don't?
Yeah, but this is Big Finish.
Yeah,
It's a bit different. It's the same as Sounds of Thunder. You know, there are. This is just. You know. Oh, hello,
Okay. So this week's release, so the first week of Feb, you'll be getting The Lone Centurion Volume 2.
Oh, good.
Rory.
Ooh.
Interesting. Camelot.
And then after that, on a few days after that, will be The Annihilators. The third Doctor story.
Nice.
Is that this week or next week?
Yeah,
You
be the
do
one
have
after.
tendency sometime to release 2 in 1 week, which makes me panic.
I think that is next week. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward very much to The Annihilators.
Mhm.
Multi-Doctor story. The first introduction of Series 6B to the range, I suspect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got a whole new thing beyond War Games. It's Series 6B. Second Doctor and Jamie. And they turn up in The Annihilators. This is their intro for that. Which is a third Doctor story. A 7-part third Doctor story. This is brilliant. I love it. I love it. So it's one of my favourite periods, Season 7. It just is. Can't help it. Thank you for that, Dominic. Has anybody got any questions for Dominic, please?
Do you like beans on toast?
I do indeed like beans on toast. It's very good.
What about chips?
I do indeed like chips. I had chips for dinner today.
With or without beans on toast?
Oh.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, that's thrown me a bit. That's really put a rain on my.
Expected this.
I got a question for Dominic.
Oh, this will be good.
Dominic,
Hello.
close your eyes.
What?
You are now the showrunner of Doctor Who,
Oh god.
and you get to choose the next Doctor. Who is it?
Oh, that's
Your
a
eyes-
horrible question to ask somebody straight on the spot.
Oh no. Well, I'll tell you who I wouldn't pick. I wouldn't pick Richard Ayoade, because that would destroy my life and my social image.
It's funny you saying that. We were talking at lunchtime how we wouldn't pick Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's the same character, which everything he does, he's in. It's the same
Yeah,
all the time.
I mean, couldn't imagine. That's the thing with those sort of like character actors who are known for being that sort of bombastic or shy and nerdy sort of character. You can't really imagine them capturing the full emotional range of the Doctor. Even though people like say all the time, Richard Ayoade would be a great Doctor. He's very nerdy and geek. I'm like, no. Okay, you've seen Moss. That's literally all you've seen, probably. And I can tell you that just from apart from the Mighty Boosh and Dark Place.
Yeah, which is celebrating its anniversary this year.
I'm just trying to make a point here.
You're doing very well, I must admit.
But is that sort of archetype? He just has that. I mean, people just associate the Doctor with being geeky and nerdy, and no. That's not how the role is internally. That's just a perception of the role, and it's all depending on what really you want out of the Doctor that would influence your decision on who you cast. Really, like personally, if I were to really go for it, I would give Tina Miller the role because I think that she would be superb. She has.
I'm sorry.
Tina Miller was in Years and Years, but you'll probably know her best as playing the General in Hellbent.
Oh yeah. Regenerated.
In Years, yes. In Years and Years, she was the wife character. I can't remember the name of the character.
Yes, I know the character you mean, who ends up basically, she splits with her husband, but stays with the husband's mum.
And she was very, very good in that. And she was also in The Haunting of Bly Manor, I believe. And I've been told that she is extraordinary in that. So I think that she'd have the right credentials to play the Doctor, because she's very fierce, but also capable of very good emotional acting. She's very cool.
Sorry, go
on. And as well as that, Ross D. Davis put in the novelization of Rose about a future incarnation of the Doctor being with a flaming sword.
We've only got 2 Jodie stories left in which to see Jodie running away from Buckingham Palace chased by a giant frog.
Let's make it happen. Come on,
Chibnall. That's enough. We know you watch this.
Not for Big Finish, maybe. Years time.
Ribbit.
The Jodie and Mandip adventures, hopefully.
Chicken goes into a library. Goes up to the librarian and goes, book. So takes the book down to the pond and gives it to the frog, who throws it away saying, read it. It's a good joke. It still stands up. Brian, how many viewers have we got?
None now.
Doesn't
Me
look
and
like
Retta.
any. Oh, you and Retta. Good, we can let rip. My eyes! Dominic, thank you, and thank you for coming on here to talk about it. Because,
right, a lot of fun.
I like to see people doing well.
Oh, well, thank you. I do my best.
Like I say, you guys. I'm not just talking about you, but you guys are the next generation. You're the people who are going to be making Doctor Who in the future, be it Big Finish, be it Marvel, be it the television. And we need to give you as much encouragement and necessarily praise, but encouragement, but not be afraid to call you out when necessary.
I take encouragement and constructive criticism.
Exactly. There's no point in nasty criticism, because what bloody good does that do?
Nasty criticism doesn't work, but absolute praise doesn't work either.
No. What about Nazi criticism?
I'm sorry, did you say Nazi criticism?
I did. Can we criticise Nazis? I believe we can.
Yes. You can criticise the KKK.
Yep.
Can we Nazis?
Sorry, we're criticising Nazis, yes.
I hate those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bad. They're very bad.
They're naughty people.
Oh, God.
Dear me. Interesting point. The British Human Rights Council has decided to listen to all the prejudice pressure groups and start clamping down a bit more on trans people.
Oh, God.
Refusing to let us to change the system of self-registration, or indeed abolishing it, and also turning around and criticising Scotland services an awful lot. It's
Pointless.
Yeah, we are not humans. It's that
Pointless
simple.
fear of what they don't understand and don't intend to understand.
I'm going to start wearing a yellow star.
It's dreadful.
Pink star, surely.
Well, I'm not
No,
gay.
it was
Well, I'm a lesbian, but I'm not gay per se. I don't like the colours of the trans flag. It looks like a pastel version of Neapolitan ice cream.
What do
Some
you have
reds,
against
give me some
ice cream?
deep purples, a little bit of burnt orange. That would have been cool. However, I say that about absolutely any colours choice I have. So
Yeah, like the bi flag has already claimed those colours.
yeah, I was a bit jealous about that. But it's yeah. So, boys and girls, if you want to do anything good, be nice to a trans person this week. That's all you have to do, and you'll get a lolly.
Huzzah!
What flavour?
Well, they're imaginary lollies, so lorries even. So you can choose yourself.
I'll have imaginary strawberry.
Imaginary strawberry. Wow, you know how to live. Is this going to be a mivvy though?
No.
Ah,
Be
interesting.
a ketchup.
Interesting, not a mivvy. Gotta like a good mivvy, you know. Hey, do you want to know what's happened to my fridge?
Has it become sentient?
The icebox has.
The contents of it.
Is there a Martian in
No,
there?
forget the contents are actually in very good nick. Because the entire icebox, the ice now is at the front of the box. You can't shut the icebox door. It's just
How's that
this-
possibly
it's
happening?
a glacier. And there is stuff buried in there.
That's
including
how the last Ice Age started.
Including hello, Chestnut.
An unattended fridge.
If you thaw that out and a Martian comes out, I won't be surprised.
I should imagine it's probably going to be a great god of guilt.
Are there two seed pods inside?
No. I think it's time. I think you're right, Ritter. I think it is time to defrost it. I'm scared. But yes, I need to defrost it at some stage.
You don't want a Dirk Gently situation.
Exactly. But the other thing, of course, is having all that ice in there is not doing the fridge much good.
Well, I suspect the fan will be knackered.
So anyway, a spaceship blows up. It's an Italian spaceship. Nothing much about it, but you know, there's a thing going on, and somebody's been found out and sent back to Earth because he's mafioso. Drugs and whatever. Nathan Spring gets turned around and told, "Oi, sod off the moon for a whole week. You've got to have some leave." Whereupon people, sorry, I've just read chat. What's it? Hang on. Yeah, as soon as he gets there, there's an assassination attempt on him. What is going on? And as a result, it's left matey bloke in charge of the Star Cops,
Yep.
who is not getting on very well with Colin.
No.
Well, he's got other things on his mind as well due to
He
the
does in this particular instance because his father died of radiation, and he saw what happened, and that is a fear for him.
Crashing spacecraft set off a radiation alarm.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be sending killer waste out in.
So, I'm going to turn to one of our experts to talk us through this initially. Which one of you wants to go? Well, we've asked Adam, so let's ask Adam. Can we do talking?
Who's talking?
Adam.
That wasn't very clear. Okay, right. Where do we begin?
Hang on. Adam, can you provide manpower or protection?
To whom?
I'm guessing me?
Oh, okay.
This is a
How
suggestion
much?
by Retta.
Okay, yeah.
Have Adam come over for more manpower / protection.
From the Martians coming out of your fridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do
Yeah,
talking.
probably.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Got some hazmat suits somewhere.
You have
anyway.
indeed. I have photos of it.
Indeed. For a long time, I thought it was my least favourite.
Okay.
But having rewatched it yesterday, I don't really know why I feel that. It's the first not written by Chris Boucher.
Yep, but the writer has a decent pedigree.
In crime drama, yes. I'm not sure about science fiction so much. But at its heart, Star Cops is much more of a crime drama, just has to be set in the future. So it kind of works. But
It's like Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is a sitcom, but it's
Yeah.
in space, you know? It's,
it is, yeah. Using the tropes and like to give it a different flavour. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. The fact that the mafia are in space and
Makes sense.
doing their type of thing. In this case, the cover is their Earth's nuclear waste sent to the moon to then be sent on. I don't quite know why you do that. Why wouldn't you send it straight into space without taking it first?
It's because they want to blast the moon out of orbit and use it to explore the galaxy.
Ah, yeah.
Moon-egg.
They found out it's an egg.
Ah, the moon
well,
is
no, he
indeed an
left
egg.
the egg behind to try and fool people.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's true.
Yeah.
Today I asked. Yesterday I asked Graham. No, it wasn't yesterday. Day before. I asked Graham Duff if he ever do an RPG of Nebulous.
Oh, really?
Players end up working for Kent, taking in laundry.
Yep.
As expected, we don't expect anything.
Just get around to releasing it
He didn't
on
reply.
CD.
He didn't reply.
Some nice world building in here again. You get the impression that even back as 1987ish, that they're already talking about the fact that Venice has been flooded.
Mm-hmm.
So, bit of foresight there, which is interesting.
Venice, beautiful to look at, terrible to smell.
Yeah. Indeed. But again, like last week, we had a slightly dodgy, stereotypical look at a particular country. Last week it was America. This
Yeah.
week it's the Italians and the Mafia.
Yeah.
Star Cop has a tendency to do that, and there's more of that coming up.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. But-
and like I say, we haven't quite hit Pete Collin yet, where he can be a little bit passively racist
Yeah, indeed he can.
and sexist. I mean, he's an unreconstructed man. He belongs
Yeah,
in New
completely.
Zealand, but this is
Yeah.
1987, so
Yeah, and you wouldn't have a character like that today.
No.
Even one who was meant to be that would be less so. Which
well,
why
this
they
is
took-
what makes me interested about Lazarus, the third part of Life on Mars.
what
Are they
do
going
with
to be
Gene
able
Hunt.
to get away with Gene Hunt?
Don't know.
Even in, the decade or so since we last saw him? Things have moved on.
Yeah, I have. Interesting. Even in the Big Finish Star Cops, Colin is definitely toned back.
It's a bit
As
like
he'd have
what
to be.
the BBC did with Blake Seven. Barry Letts wrote it.
Hmm.
Villa suddenly stopped being an alcoholic and started being a glutton.
Yeah. And interestingly, in the latest audiobook, which is read by Colin Davis's actor, what's his name again?
Come on, it's Takis. It's Mr. Takis.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, that's bad. But anyway, in there,
He's losing it.
I am. It will come to me in a minute. But he does lots of different accents. He does the Australian accent for Kenzie. He does an American accent here and there. But he doesn't do... One of the main characters is Indian. He doesn't do an Indian accent for her.
Fair enough.
It's interesting, yeah.
I think an awful lot of people, even if they tried to do an Indian accent, would come out Welsh.
It just... Yeah. Is it automatically racist to do an Indian accent for an Indian character? Feels like we're getting to that point, but...
Ask the producers of The Simpsons that question.
Indeed, yeah. Interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, I mean, Apu was a bit of a cliche, a bit of a stereotype.
Yeah, which this new character definitely isn't.
Yeah, so they were right. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you, they should have done it sooner. Well, Simpsons, I think.
And I have a regret from this particular episode.
A regret.
Twice I've been to Rome. Twice, each time I've been there, I've wanted to go into the catacombs, and twice I've failed.
What about assassination attempts?
Well, I never got down to the catacombs, so nobody was there
Oh,
to
dear.
try to.
Did you
Bummed me
break
off.
into a library that used to be an old church?
Yeah, that was Venice, wasn't it? I haven't been to
Yeah.
Venice. Been to Rome. Yeah.
Mr. Dalek went to Italy. He went to Rome.
Yeah.
Good
I
old
took
Mr.
it.
Dalek. Retta has just said correct, but I've no idea why. So, Dr. Sinister, talk to us about this episode of Star Cops, please.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is my least favourite episode of Star Cops.
Interesting.
I don't think this episode quite works for me. There's an opening scene where they're about to launch this rocket, and the guy's saying, "Please stand clear of the launching," and then he suddenly starts yelling at people, and then it doesn't. It's really weird. The kind of it doesn't work for me, that voiceover, and I don't like characters arguing with each other. I'm not particularly keen on that, and I have a general aversion to any program where the hero is portrayed as being a criminal and everyone suspects him of doing naughty things. I just don't like that kind of thing. I don't know why.
Used or just you don't like it?
It's a bit cliched.
Just don't like it. Just don't like it. It just. I like my heroes to be heroic.
It is very neatly tied up, a little too neatly tied up at the end.
Yeah.
With a single bound is clear. A bit like the end of Trial of a Time Lord.
Yes.
He saves the day and suddenly, all charges are dropped.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So basically, this. Yeah. I think there's some poor editing decisions in this episode as well. And I've come to the conclusion that I have a general aversion to scripts by Philip Martin.
Have you
We
seen
lucky he's,
Gangsters?
No,
You need
no, and I
to.
won't watch it if it's by him.
It's got
He
Morris
was going to do
Colborne
another
in,
one.
and it really will screw up your head.
It's like I don't particularly like Mind Warp, as we've established,
You have
and Vengeance from Varos leaves a nasty taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
And as Adam's already said, the Italians of this are so cliched and over the top. starting with the lady on the Earth shuttle who sort of tricked Nathan to going to Rome. I mean, she's just so.
I've got a question.
Go on.
I was looking at that woman, and just in certain angles, was that Mira Furlan? Furlan?
No.
It's not Delenn then.
No.
But she did remind me of her.
Okay. She could act.
Yeah, I just I've never really.
It just hasn't jolted with you.
I think when I first saw this on transmission, I think it was blatantly obvious to me that it was someone else writing this.
Yeah. That snappy back and forth we had, particularly in the last episode.
Yeah.
Great verbal sparring. It wasn't really there.
Yeah, and also I think there's some slightly dodgy acting as well in the opening scene when there's a radiation leak, and sort of Theroux says, "I know that, Inspector," and it's just some of the emphasis on some of the lines is not quite right, in my opinion. It's
Well, this is an intriguing thing, because Graham Harper is very much an actor's director. He'd come out of the gallery and go down on the studio floor to direct, which was frowned upon.
It's just that some of the back and forth in that scene in particular, it's like it's a first take and they didn't do another one. It doesn't feel quite right. It just doesn't sit. I can't really put my finger on it, but this episode doesn't sit right with me.
Okay.
It never really has. I mean, I'm happy to watch it. I like Star Cops, but it's undoubtedly my least favorite episode, and I think probably episode 9 would be my second least favorite. Next week's one's quite good, though.
Oh, I'm pleased. That's nice. Thanks. I got that to look forward to. Great.
Really? Episode 9 is one of my favourites. The final episode.
There's no.
We've got a schism. Star Cops fandom's gone to schism.
Controversy.
Ooh.
Yeah. I do like that we're getting a bit more of the Star Cops now. They're all working together. Kenzie is no longer a pariah overnight. I don't know quite what happened
And
there, but
there's two random guys in the background.
exactly,
So
we now have some unnamed
Yes,
Star
I
Cops.
have noticed this.
they've been
these unpaid
recruited,
extras.
and also we do get to see, like as we saw in episode 3, that there are lots of commercial interest on the moon. So there's this company called Sunzek. They've got their own little base, and I would just imagine the whole moon's just encrusted with these little bases everywhere.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought of for the starters for the Space Goat. I noticed real world news here. Elon Musk has decided to crash, I think it's some booster rockets into the moon.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it wasn't a decision. He just
I could've-
just left it to go off and do his own thing, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, first of all, we send the scouts, then probes, and now we send the bombardment.
Well, yeah.
Why are we sending Boy
okay.
Scouts to the moon?
They've got to put them somewhere.
Keeps them away from the priests.
Exactly. Dominic,
Hello.
what did you make of this week's episode of Star Cops?
He's never seen it.
What's a Star Cop?
Oh,
in space.
I shall leave it to Adam and Sinister to talk to you and get you to watch it. It's on YouTube. It's only
Do
nine
definitely recommend it.
episodes.
Yeah.
Only 9 episodes.
Plus, a load of Big Finish.
Oh,
How
wow.
far along are we now?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen the Big Finish roster, and I've approved a few covers for it, so I know vaguely what it is, but I've never seen an episode.
Well, neither had I, not really. And
It-
so I've
it-
come to
it-
this, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm still really enjoying it.
Run.
It should have been 10 episodes, and we are over halfway through now.
Okay, so
Ah.
Brian, we've had all the positive shit.
Uh-huh.
Brian, how bad was it?
It was just not my cup of tea.
Just noticed something about Brian. When he started just over a year ago, his beard wasn't grey.
I blame you.
Oh.
Can I introduce you to Just for Men? Grecian 2000?
Hey, careful with all that hair talk. You know where that leads.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Let's not start that again.
I'm completely lost again. Ah, dear. He is an old man now. You're quite right, Retta. You're quite
Yep,
right. He
Retta's
needs
right.
to be pitied. Hey, I'm wearing my pants on inside out.
Got to get W's out of them.
So you can get a clean side out?
I got it wrong when I put my leggings on. So there we go. So have you got anything to say about this?
I was bored.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's
not the best
I say we show you this. I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it because you're seeing the stuff that influenced us. You know.
Right.
And-
But I'm not looking through nostalgia colored glasses.
No, you're not. This is
Yeah.
why we're getting a fresh viewpoint,
Yeah.
which is
it's
what the
boring.
Blade's always been about ever since Joe was on.
Yeah, it's been boring so far. Nothing really all that impressive other than the zero gravity stuff they've done.
That's something I would like to highlight. The effects work.
Yeah.
It is above average for the BBC at that time.
The model work is
Yes.
pretty good. generally.
Yes, the model work and the zero gravity wire work, fantastic. Okay, the writing, dull, unimaginative. The acting, flat.
I'd
wooden.
say you've made Adam go pale, but that's just his normal colour.
I'm sorry, it's
It's not your thing.
just.
I think we've got, 3 episodes left? Or was it 4?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sticking it out. I'm
That's
here.
all right, but-
It's not like whatchamacallit, Life on Mars, where I dread every moment.
Well, that's something at least. Yeah, all right. Well, that's coming to an end soon. We've got to have a fiddle-faddle around with what we're going to do. We know the Nightmare Man is definitely on the books, as is Day of the Triffids. We need to work out how we're going to do that. Whether we're going to do
Speaking of Day of the Triffids,
Yes, love.
I saw you notice that other thing on Facebook as well. About someone else reviewing Day of the
Oh,
Triffids.
yes. Yeah.
They're giving us for all their ideas, aren't they?
That wasn't a Blake 7 group, was it, Brian?
No, that was Professor Dave's.
Ah, right, yeah. Oh, they've done well these past couple of weeks. They did an episode on the Wombles.
Okay.
Now, as a kid, I loved the Wombles. I was just the right age for it. I had 2 of the albums. I had Wombling Songs and Remember You're a Womble.
I had
all
an
by
Uncle
Mike
Bulgaria toy thing.
Yep. And all this was done by a guy called Mike Batt. And Professor Dave's Ark in Space, another podcast, go find it, looked at the Wombles as well as the movie? I'm not sure. And somehow Mike Batt found out about it. He listened to the podcast, peed himself laughing. The next thing you're doing is recommending it to Bonnie Langford.
Why? Bit random. Why? Well, they talk about something that she'd done as well. Or?
I've no idea.
Okay.
But, nice one for them, quite frankly.
Oh yeah.
They said they surgically took it apart, which is interesting.
Dissected a
You can
womble.
tell Lilibet's influence, can't you? You can tell as an English teacher there. Oh dear. So next week then. I haven't. Brian,
No.
have we ever looked at the whole of An Unearthly Child?
Yes.
We have,
Yes.
including the Tribe of Gummel, the cavemen stuff.
Yeah. Fire.
Yes, Andrew.
We haven't done Blake 7 yet.
I'm coming to it.
Okay. It's come out next week already.
She's having a senior moment.
Is it jelly for tea? Better explain to Brian. Roy Kinnear was a very famous comedic actor in England. You may remember him from The Three Musketeers. The old Three Musketeers. Was it not Richard Burton, was it?
Oliver Reed, wasn't it?
Oliver Reed, yeah.
Oh no. My Three Musketeers was the Disney one.
Ah, right. Okay.
With,
No, this is going back 70s or 80s. I know they did the sequel. But Roy Kinnear appeared in everything. But he was never a star that he should have been. He always appeared as somebody's backup in stuff. Whether it was Dick Emery or something like that, which is a shame. But that is who played Keeler, the purser, in Blake 7 Gold. Did you see I got there?
No, he also played the Veruca's father in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Great. Yes, he did. I'm quite pleased about that. Hello, a second. Oh, Jess is here. Hi, Jess, sweetheart.
You're correct, Jess. You're correct. That was the Three Musketeers.
By the way, you've
One
been...
with the Man in the Iron Mask was Jeremy Irons, Gabriel Byrne, and the French guy, Gerard Depardieu, or whatever.
Depardieu.
the hell.
Do you?
Could I just ask, Jess, you've fallen behind with your updates on Tormund. Sometime this week, if we could have some, that would be nice. Pretty please.
Satan is doing well, by the way.
Ace is doing well.
No, Satan.
That's
my
what
new
you're
favorite
calling
form.
him, is it?
Oh,
Is he
okay.
a ginger kitten?
He's an asshole.
he? Yeah. That's a ginger cat and ginger male for you.
Yeah, he's a fuzzy little asshole.
And I bet there's no malice in any of it. He's just having fun.
He wants food. That's his end all and be all motivation. Give me a can of food.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, Roy Kinnear, who's also the father of Rory Kinnear, is in the Bond films and God knows all sorts of wants of that. Well, he's a growing boy. He's the purser on this spaceship, which had a brilliant piece of music that accompanied it all the time. And the spaceship is a bit of a red herring. Because whilst it's supposed to be a pleasure cruiser, it actually takes gold to the Federation from one particular planet. The gold is put through a process so that if anybody gets hold of it, they cannot use it unless they've got the correct way of deprocessing it, which obviously is only kept between both ends, top secret. Keeler reckons there's a way of doing it, of stealing all this gold. We're talking billions. Eventually, they succeed in stealing the gold. However, there is a sting in the tail, which I'm not going to say about it in case you want to go and see it. Gold is a great Series D Blake 7 episode. I'm very fond of it. Not least for Roy Kinnear. He could have gone completely OTT comedic, and he didn't, which was great. And it also gave Paul Darrow an actor of note to stand opposite. You know, remember how much better Tom is when he's got an actor or an actress he really enjoys working with. That's the feeling I got with this. Well, let's go back the other way around. Brian, gold, please.
Well, Sulin actually got something to do.
Yeah.
I was damn near impressed with that one. She got lines and things, and granted, it was running around shooting things and very one-dimensional. But hey, there's no character development. But here's your check. It was funny.
Sorry.
Watching...
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask. Sinister might know this. Have they already mentioned which planet she comes from? Because apparently it changes during the series from one place to Gouda Prime.
Don't think they have. No, I could be wrong.
Maybe we've got that to come. Sorry. Aside.
So we go through the whole process of the heist.
It's a
and
heist,
everything.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a heist show.
I like a good
It's a
heist movie.
episode. Why they just don't beam in, beam out with the gold, and run for the hills?
That's
explained.
That's
The
explained. It's
process
gone.
means that if they teleported it, it would just collapse into dust.
Yeah, what if they get it before it's processed?
That was the original plan. It went a bit wonky.
So,
However, the whole thing is a trap.
so we find out that Veruca's dad is there to betray them. Yeah, okay, and guess who's at the center of the betrayal?
Oh, don't wreck it! Don't wreck it now.
You can tell because the minute they get off that little tram thing that comes out brings them out for the gold, they're wearing masks, but there are high-heeled boots on.
There are high heels involved. Yes.
Yeah.
And Avon and Servalan are really becoming. Will you two just get a room?
Yeah. I mean, if anyone needs a shag, it's Avon.
Yeah, let's be honest here. He's
And
had
he-
months since Anna Grant.
Pretty much just sells that right at the end when he's laughing about this money is worthless.
Talking of which, how's Avon's mental health?
What mental health?
Okay, good. And how annoying was Tarrant on drugs? Or pretending to be on drugs?
It's
Okay, good.
him instead. I mean, really? But at least he got out of that damn tunic.
And yet again, Avon makes a compliment about Villa when Villa isn't around.
Yeah. So here's my question. Villa's a thief.
Yes.
Villa is a very good thief.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they pulling off a heist without their very good thief?
Because their thief turns around and says, I don't have anything to do with this, it stinks. And he was
And
right.
he's right. He's got instincts, that boy.
He does.
Listen
He
to
goes
the
far.
thief. And if you notice, he was sober the entire episode.
Yeah. Yes, he was. He'll
Yeah.
go far. After this series finishes, he's going to go on Britain's Got Talent. It'll be brilliant. It'll be good. Talking of
He
which,
was fine this entire episode.
I totally agree.
He was pointing things out, and he actually was threatening Veruca's dad. Veruca's dad's like, Villa, yeah.
yeah, here's a case of mate. And so let's eye up. As professionals, let's eye each other up, and you do not pass. Yeah, I love these little things they do with Villa every now and again. You know, suddenly you see the different side of him, like back in not Power Play, Power, I think it was, wasn't it? Where they got Star Drive. When he pretends to be drunk, just so he doesn't have to go out in almost in raw space because he doesn't like slaves force walls.
Pretending to be drunk, hitting on Sulin, and Oh, hey, look, they picked somebody else other than me. I'm fine now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Dominic, have you seen the Blake 7 episode Gold?
No. I've not seen that much of Blake 7 at all, really.
Oh, you have so much to... Oh, you've got so much joy to have. And also some laughs at, oh dear, this is bad sort of laughing.
Okay.
Avon's hairpiece alone.
No, that's his real hair. I don't think that's an hairpiece.
That's a Shatner Turbo 2000, I'm telling you.
Chat.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I suppose we can ask. I'll ask on the Blake. You're allowed to join Blake 7 groups after we finish the last episode, but not before then.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right then. So, Dr. Sinister.
Yep. Few interesting things about this episode.
Yes.
When I first watched it on transmission, I was transfixed by the fact that the big dome security camera thing
Yeah.
in Hold was the same model that they had in my local branch of Debenhams.
Oh.
The multi-camera thing. Yeah.
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 It turns out, actually, I've done a little bit of research into those subsequently. They only ever had one camera in them.
All right. Okay.
All the other lenses were fake, so you never knew which way it was looking.
I used to work security, and there are certain stores which are very well covered with cameras. Brent Cross, WH Smith's, as an example. One of us would stay in the office, and the other one would go onto the shop floor. We'd pick someone, anyone, and follow them round with both human and cameras, just to keep our eye in. And we never got caught, which is fun. Sorry, please do carry on.
Yeah, so that always fascinated me as a kid. I do also remember it being slightly cheeky that they used the same model sequence of Scorpio docking with the ship twice.
But
in
it
in
is
its
a step
entirety.
up. This week is a step up for their effects.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I
mean that
can I just-
Starline is a great model.
Well, can I just point out the corridor that comes out from the middle of the star logo on the ship
Yeah,
and dock the Scorpio,
Yeah.
which is obviously big enough to have makes you realise the Scorpio is actually pretty fucking big.
I was thinking that as well. But it's a freighter, so you'd expect the
It is a
halls to be
freighter.
large.
But it only has one habitable deck, which is the command deck. It's not like the Liberator.
No, you have to pressurize if you want to leave the.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I've always kind of liked this episode. I think I had a little bit of rose-tinted spectacles because it didn't quite stand up for me this time round. Viewing it this time round,
Did it have bigger teeth?
the other thing as I've noticed as well is the Starliner had a 5-pointed star. Keeler had a 5-pointed star. The security men had a 6-pointed star. What's that all about?
I
Different
think
ship.
that is one of those things you're not supposed to notice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Swedish meatballs.
Probably. I don't think I've ever had.
Every
Swedish
race in the galaxy has a little thing very similar to Swedish meatballs.
I might do faggots tomorrow.
If you ever figure out why or how, you'll go mad.
Oh, there's all sorts of things like that, unfortunately. I tend not to think of them.
But this is a typical Series D episode
It is.
that sees the crew go to a great amount of trouble for the profit of someone else.
Yeah, for very. I was going to say for either for very or little or no reward.
Yeah, basically nothing goes right for them in Series D.
And it's Avon.
In fact, next week has
I'm
always
coming to that.
has a similar kind of theme to it in that they don't end up achieving a huge amount.
Yeah,
But-
I will address that afterwards.
Yes,
week.
but I will say that the one thing I will say is that next week's episode is a bombshell for the series.
It is.
And
And I'm going to be honest with you, Brian, there will be tears.
yeah,
We've got.
we've got 3 episodes to go. Next week's episode is amazing.
It is. It's called
The
Orbit.
episode after that, yeah, and then we've got the final episode.
where a Blake,
Yeah.
as we know, comes back, but we don't know which Blake.
Which, yeah. And as I've said before, it might have happened since, but a series had never ended this way before.
Well,
Mm.
we had
Well,
that
I mean,
thing.
I
with
don't
the,
know. I mean, marriages are fairly normal.
Yeah, waking up in the shower and there's all
Exactly.
Exactly.
They've been
Yeah.
taken up by a UFO.
Wake up in the shower. Sulin is in the room. You know, she hands you the towel, and the last season has been a dream.
Which means
Yeah.
Sulin wouldn't be there.
She suddenly vanishes. Yeah, it's very sci-fi.
Suddenly they wake up and they're back under terminal and the explosions have gone off.
Have you seen the writing this season? She'll be there.
On the topic of the little things that we see about Villa and other characters, I'm pretty certain that's down to Chris Boucher.
You know, I wouldn't be at all
Be
surprised.
surprised.
Yeah, I know he had a lot of input into the development of the scripts and the characters and those running themes. I'm convinced that's down to him.
Well, we had a different producer this time. We had Dear Via Lorimer, the first producer of Doctor Who, apparently.
What?
Nick Pegg once had a meal or around somebody's place or a dinner party or something like that. And there's an elderly actress who's been around the block a bit, and she was utterly convinced that Via Lorimer was the first producer of Doctor Who. Dear Via Lorimer.
Right.
And whatever they said could not persuade her.
Scrubbed from history books, clearly.
Obviously, yes. Anyway, Adam.
I really enjoyed this one. Didn't know what to expect going in. One I remember that well. I love a good caper,
It is a caper, yeah.
and I feel like Blake Seven should have done more of this sort of.
The more Robin Hoody stuff.
Yeah. I'm never quite sure what they really want to get out of it. Obviously, they can become billionaires overnight, but to what end?
Exactly. Well, it's to
had
stop
a
the Federation
fortune.
from getting it.
They had a fortune before with the Liberator, and they never. Why do they suddenly need the money now? What are they going to do with it?
Well,
I don't know.
the next 3 episodes might explain it a little bit.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Not so much the next episode, but certainly Warlord would explain why they want money. You've got to remember that the Federation's pacification program is going ahead full steam.
Yeah, that was a nice callback to way back in the first episode. We were told that Earth population are all drugged, and
And
And here
that's
we
how
see
they
it
were
again.
trying to work out, well, how the hell are they recovering from the war so quickly? They're using drugs.
yeah, that was a nice callback.
It's,
So I do think, as a team, they're pretty terrible at doing capers.
oh, God, they're dreadful.
They went in, all covert. They've got teleport, and they're killing people and leaving the bodies lying there.
When
They
you
never
compare
focus
the episode in Series C when they are attacking Serverland's residents on Earth,
Yeah.
and I said it at the time, that's a very smooth and quick insertion into the building, and they do it very professionally, and they work very well together. This time, it's a shambles.
It's completely. Yeah.
Exactly. Again, it's just down to the writer, I suppose. Who wrote
adds a
Gold?
bit of-
It was Ben
bit of
Davis?
excitement,
Ben
bit of
Collins?
gunplay, but-
Something like that. I don't know. Did you enjoy it though, boys? What do you think?
Yeah, really did.
So with you, Brian.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Well, next week's is Orbit. I say Orbit.
Orbit.
With a very famous actor
Oh,
playing
this guy from
Igorian.
Coronation Street.
Ended up in Coronation Street, yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So we've got that to look forward
We
to,
did that.
and it is a grotesque performance. It is a wonderful performance, which I hope you will really enjoy.
Is it Toby Haydock?
Toby was a sperm back then.
And
Yeah, he's about the same age as me, isn't he?
things between Avon and Villa will never quite be the same after
There will be
this.
tears. That's all I'm saying.
Ah,
There will
that it.
be tears.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
They're gonna break up the bromance.
Yeah.
Wait and see. Wait and see, and you'll start to understand the reasoning behind one of my ongoing questions. Slowly. Then, well, we'll forget the week after, because that's Warlord, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's not very good. And then we got the final episode. Where again, that question comes to the fore. So, okay, we've been going for 2 hours 10 minutes, and I'm not feeling well for some reason. I don't know why. Next week.
Self-medication?
No, it's not. There's nothing like that. I think it's because I haven't eaten, but I don't want to eat, if that makes sense.
Is it because you're pretending to be ill so you can steal some processed gold?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Encrypted gold is what it
Encrypted
effectively is.
gold, yes. So basically, Bitcoin.
Sorry, Brian?
Shoot the doctor.
What about the doctor?
It's killed him.
Veruca's dad shot the doctor.
Oh, yeah, because it turns out he's a bit of a git.
But he was a replacement doctor, wasn't he?
Mm.
It does get mentioned that the doctor's been replaced with a thingy. Next week, we'll come back to Doctor Who in a moment. Hopefully, we'll either be looking at, or I say we, I'll be looking at Rory, or the Third Doctor, the new Third Doctor adventures. Depends which one comes out. Like I say, this week we had a Torchwood release, and Peladon didn't get released till Friday, which meant some very quick listening to get it for tonight. Star Cops, next episode of that. Do you know what it's called, guys?
Is it Warm Blood?
I don't know.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
Warm Blood. So obviously the
it's a good one.
Silurians are in it.
it's a good one.
And the Blake 7 episode Orbit, which is one of the best Blake's Evan 7 stories in the run of the programme, quite frankly. And a lot of it's to do with the guest cast, but a lot of it's to do with what happens. Yeah, they got it spot on with that, I thought. It's a proper Blake 7 episode. And as for the Doctor Who, what about the Dalek invasion of Earth? Go back to a bit of Billy.
How long is it? 8 episodes?
No, 6 episodes.
6 episodes. It was long.
Is that all right with you guys? Are you able to do that? That's reassuring. Do you want me to find a different one? Let's do The Edge of Destruction.
Never done that? No.
I don't know. We might have done. Have we done that?
No, we haven't.
Okay. There you go. It's 2 episodes. Is that better?
It's a good one. It's a very good
Sure.
All right, then. We'll do Edge of Destruction. Good luck with it.
Just be careful with those scissors.
one. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. So, yeah. Edge of Destruction, A Big Finish, Star Cops, and Orbit, which is pretty good. Plus whatever news and whatever. Next Friday, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern, we've got the second part of the latest Two Fan Dinosaurs, where we're going to be looking at Journey's End. We did The Stolen Earth on Friday, Sinister and myself. That's up on YouTube. You can have a little look at that.
I don't know what's going to happen. The Doctor just got shot by a Dalek.
Oh, no,
Oh,
it's
it's
terrible.
regenerating, isn't it? Yeah.
I know.
God. Maybe
Goodness.
he'll regenerate.
Oh, no.
Maybe. Who knows?
I don't
Anything
know.
could happen.
I know. Either way, it'll be handy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So we got that. Then Saturday night, providing I remember, I'll stream the RPG. It won't be as good as last time. In fact, I've no idea where we are with this, where my character is or anything. I think it might be an idea to sit down with you, Brian, beforehand and try and work out where we're going to go with this. That will be 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then next Sunday, got the Flash and Blade, 9 p.m., 4 p.m. So there we go. Or here on your favourite YouTube channel. Brian, do it!
Nah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and to ring that little bell.
So you never miss a vid.
Oh, so you never miss a vid, yes.
Use the promotional code BLADE with Skillshare.
Squarespace!
And when you're building a website, use Squarespace.
Yeah, dear me. I
Forget your ExpressVPN.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. NordVPN. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Can I just ask if you've worked out the lyric at the top of the show?
What was it again?
What?
If you
There was
can't
a lyric?
remember it, I'm not telling you.
I didn't pay
Okay,
attention.
well, I suppose we just won't get it then.
John Hurt in 1984.
That was a bit left side, but that I wasn't expecting that. That was good. Yeah, it's wrong, but it was good. It makes sense. No, it was God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, which is the tune for Clockley Departha Men in Clatch. Not Good King Wenceslas, Adam, as you said at lunchtime.
I don't know.
You notice I didn't correct you back then.
I know nothing about music.
Ah, dear. But yeah, and like I say, they use God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen of an orchestral version as a theme, and it's beautifully done. And then right at the end, instead of the closing theme, you have Paul McGann singing Clockley Departha Men in Clatch. Far better than Pertwee ever did. It's good stuff. That was the link. There won't always be links. I don't know why I've started doing this, if I'm honest with you. I think it's
Quick question.
Yeah.
Was Pertwee dead by the time of the TV movie? I can't remember.
Yes, he was. He died about a week before or so, and they quickly slapped on a dedication notice.
Yeah, okay, that rings a bell.
Typical Pertwee, trying to get the limelight. Ah, dear. Yeah, it's going to be a good week next week if that Big Finish stuff comes out. Give me something to do. I'm after suggestions, by the way, boys and girls, for things that I can do out of the house. Remember, I can't walk very well, and it's also bloody cold at the moment. But if you can think of anything around the Sussex area that might help, get in touch, please.
Bank job? Can you do a bank job?
I couldn't run. Yeah. I mean, I could be the driver.
Get the boys back together. Do one last job.
Yeah, damn straight.
You son of a bitch! I'm in.
Now that was Dean Lerner from Dark Place. I'm sorry, that was. Oh dear, Dark Place, Dark Place, Dark. Basically, it's James Herbert, wasn't it? It was just.
My favourite line from that is, "I know I'm not Jesus Christ. I know that now."
Oh, what a brilliantly terrible program. That's one we should look at, I think.
Yeah. I've got it here.
Not
I've got it on
as
DVD
an
as well.
episode by episode thing, but okay, so just dip in and tell us what you think. Day of the Triffids. How are we going to do this? Are we going to do it over 2 weeks with 3 episodes per week? Would
2
that be the
weeks.
easiest way? That's what I said, 2 weeks, didn't I? Or did
Yes.
I say 3 weeks?
Yeah, you said 2, but we also had this conversation last week.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing it over 2 weeks, 3 episodes a week.
Yes,
me alone!
and it'll be the same answer when you ask us again next week.
Because I will. Yep. We've also got the Nightmare Man coming up. Out of the Unknown. And we're going to have a look. We're going to dip our toe into Farscape. We're not going to watch all of it. There's too much of it.
You did say halfway through Star Cops you'd throw in an episode of Moonbase 3.
I had forgotten about that, you foolish man.
And I said for the Patreon, I would watch and review.
That is something we have to discuss. I would rather be able to just giving than a Patreon. Because Patreon means we're going to have to keep working all the time to produce new stuff for people. You guys haven't got the time to do it. I haven't got the energy to do it. So it might be an idea of just giving with these rewards that we know we can do. And your name on the new Dr. Emu. That sort of thing. Yes, the Ninth Dr. Emu, who former self regenerated after falling off a roof and losing a fight with gravity. They can do it for Tom Baker, they can
He
do it
is
for Rod
such a
Hull.
harsh mistress.
You know my
Physics.
theory about the Doctor and Fourth Doctor and Gravity?
This should be good.
Well,
It
in
doesn't
quite a
exist
few-
until he
quite a
looks down.
few- in quite a few stories, the Doctor comes out the TARDIS and he's got a yo-yo and he's testing the gravity.
Indeed.
I
yes.
think it's because he knew the gravity would get him in the end.
Oh, yeah.
That is a wise thought.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yep. That is a wise thought. I like that thought. Dominic, put it into Big Finish. Why are you using a yo-yo? Ah, well, yes. Just doing a simple gravity reading. Why? We're on Earth. Yes, gravity will get me in the end. Yep. We've been going for 2 hours 20. Shall we go?
Okay.
Good.
Sure.
I'm not feeling too good. Okay. Oh, Shazbut. I've left all this on there, haven't I? Hang on. We want that one. And we want that one. Dr. Sinister will be providing us with tonight's John Levine quote.
Oh, okay.
So everybody say goodbye. Dominic, thank you so much for turning up.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No, you're always welcome. You know you are. You can just turn up and you'll be there. Purcell, start off. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Let's do it.
Bye-bye.
We should have a You Have Been Watching, shouldn't we? With little clips where everyone waves at the camera.
We have an intro as well.
Yeah, but which one? Are you
No,
being
one-
served Dad's
an
Army?
intro
Or
where an intro where we all rapidly turn to camera and freeze and our names come up.
I did an audio version of the Space 1999 titles.
And then, dun.
I did an audio version of the Space 1999 titles where, because what's it? Martin Landau and Barbara Brain turn to the camera, don't they? Bane, sorry. Her name must have been a bane of her life. And I did that in audio, panning them from either side to centre. That was fun doing that. Then there was the Top Gear opening, which Tim Drury was a bit annoyed about because he was planning on doing that. That was Max Warp. Oh, Max Warp was a great
It is.
Big Finish story. It really was.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, we're going. Say goodbye. Or have we said goodbye?
Goodbye, or have we said goodbye?
You have been watching something.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
When the Matrix is restored, do what you like with John Levine, but exercise leniency with Savalon Blitz. He's not beyond redemption.
That's not the one I was expecting.
I had to change it.
You did. Say hello to Adam's goat.
Hello, Adam's goat.
Hello, Adam.
Hello,